our chief guest of the inaugural ceremony of Prudence 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Gk Goswami, Doctorate in Medicinal Chemistry and Law, DSc in Forensic Sciences and Law, hails from Meerut, a sports city of India, or a city famous for being the starting point of the 1857 rebellion against company rule in India.
So let me first talk about the topic. Topic is very seminal and very important for any person and especially for the management sector. The change management practice in new normal scenario, business strategies in socio-legal and ethical framework. So this topic is very wide, and I was wondering what I must speak on this topic because a lot of connotations are attached with this. But then I thought to limit my talk because it is around 10 to 12 minutes, so I will try to finish within time. So I thought to reflect upon the interconnection between socio-legal and ethical framework. That is very, very important part. We have to understand that how ethical values are connected with our life and how ethics are interlinked with law. My dear friends, basically law is a governing system and so is the ethics. And if we see its origin, probably ethics are more old than law. When we were living in the primitive society, when law was not codified as today, at that time in various facets, maybe through religion or maybe various other regions, the customs, the traditions, the learning from the elders, they were the guiding principle to administer the society. And probably till date, when we see our childhood, that if you are just putting your foot on any small creature like ant or any insect, people say that don't do that, aapko paap lagega. So this concept of paap and pun is very instrumental to control our conduct. And these customs and traditions are still very prominent. And I believe that for customs traditions, you need not to impose any enforcement, while for law, you have to have some implementing agency. When we grow with time, the civilization move forward, then we require to control society by law. Of course, law is a better system, no doubt, but law has its own limitations. And I think until unless we give emphasis on morality in the system, whatever we are doing, whether we are in the management, we may be in police, we may be a doctor, engineer, a teacher, a farmer, whatsoever. So that is very, very important, that how we can conduct our affairs, how we behave with our own system. My dear friends, I do believe that whatever profession we go in, we must always have the human being into the system. Until unless we keep the human-centric approach, then we will be a very cog of the machine, we will not be a human being. So humanity is the center, and I think the people sitting here, the students particularly I am referring, that you are the future of the nation. So how you run the system tomorrow will ultimately lead the country's growth, progress. And one thing I always quote, that we have already, we generally use two terms, growth and development. Although they are like like synonyms we generally use. But somewhere I read and I could understand the difference between growth and development. And it can be understood in a very simple manner. If you see a tree, tree has two sides. One is the root and another is the stem.
I would like to call on dais Mr. Pankaj Gupta, President, Industries Association of Uttarakhand. I please all the members to please
Good morning to you all. Ajay Bhai, Dr. Vivek, Major General Sanjay Sharma ji, my brother Gautam ji, then Mr. Yadav, and your fellow faculty and dear students. Ma'am, you said if industry grows, there will be more jobs. But I feel it the other way around, like what Ajay Bhai said. If we get good leaders, industry is going to grow. So, all of you are leaders of today, leaders of tomorrow. But it's hidden inside you. And today you are here in Quantum, Quantum is going to help you cultivate your leadership. But at the end of the day, you have to be disciplined, you have to dedicatedly work hard. What is hidden inside you, you have to bring that out. And when we talk of new management practices and all those things, see, Ajay Bhai also talked of in the past we have been doing business like we used to set up industries and you must have heard about these ambassadors, the Fiats and all those cars. Bella ji ne ambassador bana di, Fiat आ गया, देश की जनता को वही चीज सब देते चले गए साल दर साल. One fine morning there was a leader who came and he thought, why not we get something new for this country? And Mr. Sanjay Gandhi thought of bringing in Maruti. So that was the changing this thing. So he gave us the new vision for the cars, and today you can see the end number of new cars coming into the country.
Mr. Kapoor did his master's in business management. With his diversified knowledge and business acumen, he is successfully handling operations at Ramson's Impact, Ramson's Polymers, and Ramson's Engineering Company as a managing director. Prior to this, Mr. Kapoor worked for Modi Siemens and the FMCG giants ITC Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the founder member of Bhagwanpur Industries Association and the General Secretary of BIA since 2007. Now, I invite Mr. Kapoor to share his valuable experiences and the strategies, sir, to tackle changes in the organization, since we have management students here and they want to know the strategies which the industrialists basically.
Thank you everyone. जैसे पंकज जी ने कहा, मैं भी यहाँ पर बहुत आता रहा हूँ और मैं दो चीज़ों को मिक्स जरूर करूँगा. अजय जी ने कहा था कि हम लोग शायद आधे टीचर बन गए हैं. New normal, many things are changing, especially in the COVID times, and we have been noticing that also. Technology, analytical things, what everybody has been sharing, they have been coming up. I believe still we have that scope that we should be mixing both of the things. We cannot leave our old business practices. I believe we have to mix both technology with the old business practices. As Pankaj ji and Goswami ji told about the ethics, they have to also be mixed. We cannot leave our ethics. That is part and parcel of the business. Moral ethics बहुत जरूरी होते हैं किसी भी बिजनेस करने के लिए. तो वो भी चीज़ ज़रूरी है। लेकिन जो हम लोग चैनल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन या चैनल बिजनेस अपनाते हैं, दैट इज ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। विद टेक्नोलॉजी, द ऑनलाइन बिजनेस, वी शुड बी मिक्सिंग दैट ऑल्सो। वी कैनॉट ओनली गो विद ऑनलाइन एवरीथिंग और टेक्नोलॉजी और डाटा एनालिटिक्स में जो हम लोग कर लिया वो ज़रूरी है, लेकिन हम लोग अपनी ओल्ड प्रैक्टिस को साथ में मिक्स करें। I know when I was studying, that time also things were changing. Things keep on changing. That time also we were doing the same thing. We were taking that middle path. So middle path, I believe, that is my theory, that we should be taking that middle path. Even same India, it is partly unilateral, partly federal. So same we should be doing. We should be doing the middle path. I believe it, and that can be a successful thing. We cannot leave our old practices.
Leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. Our Honorable Chancellor Quantum Shri Ajay Goyal is having such a vision. The vision by which he always keep on investing his efforts towards promoting education and establishing state-of-the-art at educational university offering technical, business and medical courses in Uttarakhand. As an alumnus St. Joseph Academy, Dehradun, his firefights and faith in youth empowerment allowed him to see that there was no dearth of talented individuals in India. Our Honorable Chancellor always believes that such talented individuals, if given the quality education and skill building programs as per new education policy, could easily be transformed into dynamic leaders and thinkers of the future. With these words, I would like to invite Shri Ajay Goyal, patron of the conference and Chancellor Quantum University Roorkee, for his words of wisdom.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. So every time I come to a house like this, it's a very awesome feeling. A house full of intellectuals, scholars, online and offline. और जैसे विवेक जी ने कहा कि वो बिजनेसमैन नहीं है, वो फिर भी पार्शियल बिजनेसमैन बन गए हैं, तो मैं टीचर नहीं हूँ पर मैं पार्शियल टीचर बन गया 10-12 साल में आते रहते लेके और इसलिए मैं यहाँ कुछ कहने सिखाने नहीं आया हूँ, सीखने आया, क्योंकि ये इंटेलेक्चुअल्स की गोष्ठी है। इट्स अ हाउस ऑफ पीपल who are researching, who are learning, who are teaching, who are stakeholders in the knowledge and expansion, and I am so thrilled, excited to be a part of it. Thank you very much, sir, for affording me this opportunity. अच्छा, अब मैं, क्योंकि मैंने पहले कहा मेरे पास बताने सिखाने में कुछ नहीं है, लेकिन एज ए बिजनेस अब ये आज का टॉपिक जो है वो ये है कि न्यू नॉर्म में बिजनेस किस तरीके से कंडक्ट होगा, बिजनेस डिसीजन मेकिंग कैसे होगी, हाउ लॉन्ग टू हैव। तो जो मैं एक्सपीरियंस कर रहा हूँ, मैंने कहीं पढ़ा नहीं है, मुझे किसी ने पढ़ाया नहीं है, बट जो मैं एक्सपीरियंस कर रहा हूँ कि ये जो न्यू नॉर्म है इसके कई एस्पेक्ट्स हैं, जैसे सर ने भी कहा, और उसका एक एस्पेक्ट है दैट इज बिकमिंग मोर एंड मोर ऑब्जेक्टिव विद ईच डे बेस्ड ऑन data analytics, big data analytics. There's a case of Amazon. You see, why has Amazon become such a big company? I think very major part of it is because of the technology they have integrated into their scheme of things. तो कितने examples हमारे सामने आ गए हैं that technology is going to be a great enabler. और जैसे जो समझिए कि एक डॉक्टर जो पहले नर्व पकड़ के डायग्नोसिस करता था, आज सबसे पहले उसको 10 किस्म के टेस्ट अलग अलग डायग्नोस्टिक्स लैब्स में करने पड़ते हैं। ऐसी बिजनेस डिसीजन मेकिंग के लिए डेटा एनालिटिक्स एप्लीकेशन बहुत नॉर्मल हो जाएगा, नेचुरल हो जाएगा।
So I again come now. I request Honorable Vice Chancellor Quantum to give insights on the topic. Now,
Thank you, Dr. Nimesh. Good morning to everyone and good evening to Dr. Gk Goswami sir. He is right now in Cornell University, so perhaps it is 12 o'clock at night. Honorable Chancellor, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor sir, Kapoor sir, Shivam, respected directors of Quantum School of Business and Quantum School of Technology, Registrar Dr. S.S. Shekhawat, distinguished faculty members from various departments, all the visitors in inauguration function of Prudence, and lovely students. This is my privilege to announce the inauguration of PRUDENCE22, which is a legacy of Quantum School of Business. And I think roughly around 10 edition has been done of Prudence. I am finding myself very much delighted to see the August gathering. Every time Prudence is taking some burning topics, and this time they have taken some burning topics of our new business, and that is the business strategies.
Good morning once again. It's a privilege to offer a vote of thanks on this great occasion of Quantum University's Prudence 2022, a UCOST BIA-sponsored international conference on change management practices in the new normal scenario, business strategies in socio-legal and ethical framework. It's been an honor to be a part of this esteemed university as Director, Quantum School of Business. First and foremost, I wish to thank our Chief Guest, Honorable Dr. Gk Goswami, Additional Director General of Police, UP, former Chief of ATS, UP, and presently stationed at Cornell's Law School, Ithaca, New York, as Fulbright Fellow. Further, I wish to express my deep gratitude to the Honorable Chancellor, Quantum University, Shri Ajay Goyal sir, Honorable Vice Chairman in absentia, Shri Shobit Goyal sir, under whose supervision and guidance this international conference was made successfully possible. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Babloo Kumar, who spearheaded this event with skill and his superset, the time and the efforts he has been made for us. I wish to propose my thanks to Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Major General Sanjay Sharma sir, for his strategic guidance and supervision at every time whenever we need it. A deep gratitude to Uttarakhand State Council for Science and Technology and Bhagwanpur Industries Association for sponsoring this conference. Great thanks to Alex Panels for our becoming our industry partner, and of course Next Gen Computing Technology for being our knowledge partner for this Prudence 2022. I would like to express my heartiest thanks to our guest of honor, Mr. Pankaj Gupta ji, President Industries Association Uttarakhand, Dehradun, Mr. Gautam Kapoor sir, General Secretary Bhagwanpur Industries Association, Mr. Shivam Goyal, Joint Secretary Bhagwanpur Industries Association, for reaching to us today and sharing their learnings and rich experience with the August gathering today. I proudly acknowledge the dedicated Prudence organizing team members, Dr. Ram Singh, Dr. Nimesh Sharma, Dr. Lokesh Verma, Dr. Sachin Chauhan, and Ms. Shruti for organizing this successful conference. I would like to deeply admire and appreciate the contributions of eminent authors and faculty members from India and abroad. And my special mention to Skills Outside School Research Foundation Nigeria for their wonderful contribution in making this conference a big success. I also acknowledge the estate officer and IT team of Quantum University Roorkee for all the resources and the technical support we were in need of and their timely accomplishment. Thanks to the respective guests from media and press, the faculty and the non-teaching staff and my dear faculty members from Quantum School of Technology, Quantum School of Health Sciences and other institutions, departments and schools to make this event a huge success by their valuable presence today with us and our major contributors toward this marvelous teamwork. It is with a feeling of pride and accomplishment that I deliver this vote of thanks today. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Ladies and gentlemen, greetings of the day. We have with us Dr. Desiree David. So let's have a big round of applause for her. Madam Desiree David is a lecturer at Nelson Mandela University, Faculty of Law in Criminal and Procedural Law Department. Madam David is also an admitted attorney of the High Court of South Africa. And dear enthusiastic learners, with the aim to mentor students to facilitate the development of graduate attributes, community involvement and fostering their personal development, Madam David founded Legal Integration Program in 2019 and successfully running the same at Nelson Mandela University. Now, without much of late, I request Madam David to please share his thoughts on the topic. Over to her, ma'am, please.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. I must apologize for beginning this session a little bit later. We've had in South Africa floods over the last week or two with a lot of devastation, and our cell phone networks and electricity and so on is not very reliable at the moment. But thank you very much for inviting me to participate in this event. I've chosen to speak about the legal practitioner and by implication the law student post-COVID and the use of technology. And we've seen already firsthand one of the disadvantages of relying on technology. When you are affected by natural disasters and so on, then conducting your business could be problematic, especially where punctuality and reliability in your business is very, very important. So, as you heard in the introduction, I am an attorney, an academic. I'm a mediator and a mentor to my students. South Africa, I'm going to be speaking to you about the South African experience, but I think that the South African experience, specifically post-COVID, is similar to a lot of countries around the world. And there are very specific similarities between India in general, I think, and South Africa. So in South Africa, we have a population of 61 million, which is tiny by comparison to your population. But we're a multicultural, multilingual society. Unfortunately, we have a few social and political problems in this country that I think you will identify with. At government level and in society, we have high rates of corruption. HIV is a huge problem in South Africa. We have very high rates of poverty. A large percentage of our population is poverty-stricken and lives below the poverty line. We have problems with unemployment in certain parts of the country. We have unemployment at 45%, which is huge. And there's a problem accessing services because of the nature of the country, because we have very large rural population and so on, that may not necessarily have access to services like medical services, like legal services, and so on. In addition to the socioeconomic problems, we also have a very high percentage of violent crime, like murder and assault and so on. And worryingly so, we have a huge problem with sexual and gender-based violence in South Africa. It is very problematic, and it's one of the one category of criminal offense that rose very steeply in South Africa during COVID, as it did in countries like India and Nepal, and so on. Now, the legal profession, and this is the background from which I will speak, the legal profession is known to be notoriously slow to adopt technology. Just from my interaction with older practitioners and so on, you will find that even the most useful innovations that we have in the business world are often only adopted by legal practitioners in reaction to client demand for a more efficient way of doing business and a more cost-effective way of doing business, because obviously for clients, costs are a very important aspect. And academics and tertiary institutions, we're constantly striving to adapt to new and improved methods of teaching and learning in order to better skill and equip our graduates for practice. And as academics, I think you will all agree with me that in the field of teaching and learning, there is always innovation, and there's always new methods of teaching and assessing and so on that are being implemented and that are being tested in order to equip the graduate for the realities of entering the business world and entering practice. So my presentation today will be based on my personal experience as a legal professional and an academic.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's profound privilege of me as being Director, Quantum School of Business and co-chair of this Prudence 2022 to present my formal welcome address. And in this line, I would like to welcome our chief guest of the day, Shri Babloo Kumar ji, former Senior Superintendent of Police, Moradabad. We welcome you, sir, on behalf of complete esteemed management of Quantum University, Roorkee. Now, ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Sir's very important achievement that Sir has accomplished and won DG's Commendation Discs, Gold, Platinum and Silver Medal consecutively for 3 years, that is 2017, 19 and 20. So, it's our respect that you are with us, and we are finding ourselves so lucky to have the chief guest of this valedictory session. No doubt you are going to add an extra feather to the accomplished journey of VQ mates. Thank you once again for being with us, sir, and now we are looking forward to have your wonderful and informative interactive deliberation with the August gathering. Over to you, Shri Babloo Kumar, sir, former SSP, Moradabad, as the chief guest of today's session.
Thank you, Dr. Yadav. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir. I'm extremely sorry, actually I am on move, and that's why my setup is not perfect. Good afternoon all. Thank you very much for inviting me as the chief guest in this international conference on change management practices in new normal scenario that is organized in the university, in your university. And it is indeed a great pleasure and honor for me to attend this conference. Actually, when I transferred out of Moradabad, so I was not sure where I'll be placed and how I'll get to connect to you. But Dr. Vijendra, you made things very simple, and because of this Google Meet, and I'm able to connect to all of you. And I'm enormously grateful for this hard work that you people, you guys are putting for making this conference or this occasion very special for all of us. The university that is organizing, that is Quantum University, is the new age university, but that I think after organizing such kind of conferences, international conferences for all of us, that inspires all to gain, learn, enjoy, acquire the young experience, young leaders of the industry, academia and else. My special regard to the Chancellor sir, Mr. Ajay Goyal ji, Vice Chancellor Professor Gk Kumar ji, Major General Sanjay Sharma ji, and my best wishes and appreciations for the Director Mr. Desiree David ji, who has done a lot of effort for making this event organized in the university. See, the topic that on which this conference has been organized is the change or the transformation that is occurring due to the pandemic or the crisis that we are going through. The human race is going through this unprecedented crisis due to COVID-19 since last 2 years. Exactly in 2019, I think in December, it occurred in the rest of the country, but in India, it started in March 2020. The speed, the impact of this virus was so adverse, widespread, that it has impacted adversely all the government sectors, institutions, businesses, and especially the human race. The pandemic has completely transformed the way we think, we do transactions, we do our work, we do our businesses, or the enterprises does their businesses before the pandemic and after the pandemic. This whole pandemic has created a crisis for the whole industry, academia and humankind. And I'll say every crisis during the crisis, it creates negativity, but at the same time the crisis creates opportunities also. The challenges that the crisis has put before us, if we take this positively, if we transform our system, our processes, the management, then we can come up with a lot of opportunities to improve our system. I'll quote some examples.
Now I request our Pro-Vice Chancellor Sir, Major General Sanjay Sharma ji, to share his words of motivation and bless the gathering to Prudence 2022.
My words are primarily directed towards the students. Right? The faculty has worked very hard for you. They've been able to motivate hundreds and hundreds of learned professors, academia and industry bigwigs to participate in this particular seminar to enhance your knowledge through the papers they have submitted. And it's primarily the work, the vision and the dedication of your seniors led by your director, Dr. Vijender Yadav himself, and all the excellent HODs and the faculty. You know, when I was listening to this lovely talk given by Shri Babloo Kumar, IPS, and he was talking about his now being posted to Lucknow. So I remembered my days when I was also posted in Lucknow. I was interacting quite closely with these IPS senior law.
Thank you, sir. Moving ahead, I would like to present the report I have with the hymn. Devanam Bhadra Sumati Viyujatam, Devanam Rati Ravi No Nirvatatam, Devanam Sakhyam Upsedima, Vayam Devane Ayu Pratirantu Jivati. Meaning, may the benevolent wisdom of honest scholars and their generosity be directed onto us. May we sit in the company of those scholars in friendship. May these holy men help us to learn and prolong our lifespan for us to live happily. A strong research base is always like a strong foundation to any university. The sustainable growth of any university depends on the strong research, excellence, especially the high value of research publications. With this thought, QSB Quantum University organized PRUDENCE22, one-day international conference on change management practices in the new normal scenario, business strategies in socio, legal and ethical framework, on 23rd April 2022 Saturday. With a keen intention of adding a milestone to the exemplary research journey of being an establishing university. Ladies and gentlemen, we started this journey of Prudence 2022 on 25th Jan this year, with our first flyer posted in social media. There was a huge response received from India and abroad countries. As a result, we received 63 research papers in domain areas of management, economics, law, humanities, technology integration, and socio-legal international business. Out of 63, finally 47 papers got selected and presented in today's conference under 3 technical sessions. All the selected papers are finally going to publish in UGC Care Journal in a short while. Dear friends, the overall journey from January 25th to present day was professionally challenging. In establishing ourselves as one of the strong contributors to the research, growth of the university and of course altogether of the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, it is to be highly acknowledged and immense pleasure to share with you that Prudence 2022 as an international conference received the attention of the government of Uttarakhand, and due to which we were able to grab the sponsorship from Uttarakhand Corporation of Science and Technology, Dehradun, UCOS. Also, we were highly lucky to have Bhagwanpur Industry Association and NLEX as our industry partners, while Next Generation Computing Technology as our knowledge partner. Dear learned audience, the chief guest of today's inaugural session was Dr. Gk Goswami, Additional Director General of Police, Uttar Pradesh, currently at Cornell University, Ithaca, New York as Fulbright Fellow. Followed by distinguished guests from industry, Sri Pankaj Gupta, President Industries Association of Uttarakhand, Sri Gautam Kapoor, General Secretary Bhagwanpur Industrial Area BIA. The keynote speaker of International Conference Prudence 2022 were Ms. Desiree David, Faculty of Law, Nelson Mandela University and Admitted Attorney of the High Court, South Africa. Chief guest of the valedictory session is Shri Babloo Kumar, former SSP Moradabad. This is how we have achieved the decided milestone with a greater virtue of efforts, dedication, honesty and integrity. we at QSB promising our esteemed management and other stakeholders to bring these type of nationally and internationally acclaimed events in the university and keep on with this journey this way onwards. Thank you. Jai Hind. Now I will request Dr. Ram to present the vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. उद्यमेनी सिद्ध्यं कार्याणं मनोरथं नहि सुप्तस्य सिंहस्य प्रशंति मुखे निकला। मीनिंग केवल सोचने से कुछ नहीं होता है, जब तक काम किया ना जाए वो कंप्लीट नहीं हो सकता। जैसे कोई शेर अगर सो रहा है तो उसके मुंह में शिकार खुद नहीं आ सकता। दिस इज द मीनिंग ऑफ द श्लोका सुभाषितानी। जैसे प्रूडेंस, वी वर thinking the organized to this prudence in last year, but due to some reasons we could not complete this task. When sir joined, again we started thinking to organize the prudence, and now this is the final day. We have achieved the decided goal with the expected outcomes. Good evening to all of you. Honorable Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chairman, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Honorable PVC, respected Director Sir, dear colleagues, dear students and all the participants. I, Dr. Ram Singh, take it as my privilege to propose vote of thanks on this grand occasion. On behalf of Quantum School of Business, along with the entire Prudence team, I extend my deepest gratitude to the chief guest of the inaugural session, Dr. Gk Goswami, Additional Director General of Police, full-time Fulbright Fellow, Cornell Law School of Ithaca, Newark, for conferring his valuable times and remarkable opinions. I would also like to extend my thanks to the chief guest of valedictory session, Shri Babloo Kumar, IPS, former SSP, Moradabad, and the keynote speaker, Ms. Desiree David, Faculty of Law, National Mandela University, Admitted Attorney of High Court, South Africa. I thank to all the authors and participants from the national and international boundaries and universities for their grand contributions for making this event successful. I also extend my thanks to Honorable Chancellor Sir, Vice Chancellor Sir, Vice Chairman Sir, Honorable PVC Sir and respected Director Sir for their valuable guidance and motivation. It is a well known the fact that any event cannot be happen over the night. It requires well planning and bird's eye for every details to make this event successful. We are fortunate enough to be backed by the visionary director, Dr. Vijendra Singh Yadav ji, Quantum School of Business, and the entire Prudence team, Dr. Sachin Chauhan sir, Dr. Nirmesh Sharma ma'am, Dr. Lokesh Verma ji, Professor Pushpendra Singh ji, Dr. Vinay Pal Singh ji, Ms. Shruti Rawat ji, Ms. Rupali, Ms. Ekta, and many more who have dedicatedly cooperated and contributed to achieve this expected outcome of this conference. Finally, I would like to thank the person from press and media, the state officer, Mr. Lalit ji, Mr. Ravinder Giri ji, and entire IT team for the perfect logistic support and cooperation. Once again, thanks to all.
Quantum University, The future is exciting.